Welcome to Prep for Prep's 2021 Lilac Ball, a virtual celebration of leadership. I'm Ruth Jurgensen, CEO of Prep for Prep, and it's my pleasure to invite you to join me on a vibrant and lively virtual journey through the city to celebrate our classes of 2020 and 2021. We'll get to know some of our students, hear alumni stories, discover why we're honoring JPMorgan Chase, and learn from our leadership and supporters why it's so important to give to Prep for Prep. Whether you're a student working hard to bring your brilliant and whole self to wherever you go, to whatever you do, to whomever you become. A parent making all kinds of sacrifices to ensure the best for your child. A teacher or a staff member working tirelessly to make whatever seems impossible possible for our students. An alum caring deeply about the prep experience and wanting more and better for our students who follow in your footsteps. A school partner investing deeply in educational opportunity, knowing that prep students raise the standard for all. A business, nonprofit, or public service partner providing summer internships that expand horizons and give our students the know-how and opportunity to pursue their dreams. Or a generous supporter, whether a longtime trustee, a major philanthropist, or a first-time donor, turning your contribution into an investment of a lifetime. And to the many friends and family across the globe tuning in, thank you for cheering us on and for all you do to support our students and Prep's life-changing programs. To kick off this event, here's a powerful message from our students that sums up who we are.
Excellence, integrity,
commitment,
courage,
community.
We are ethical and effective leaders who reflect our diverse society.
More than 5,000 strong and growing.
In independent schools in New York City.
In boarding schools throughout the Northeast.
On college campuses across the country.
We are leaders in our communities.
Committed to service and giving back.
You will find us here and across the globe.
Building our own path, pursuing our dreams.
Becoming entrepreneurs and innovators.
Rising to positions of influence in every field and sector imaginable.
We are not defined by structures, systems, or stereotypes.
We are brilliant and whole.
We bring our full selves wherever we go.
We walk through any door.
We have a seat at the table.
The table we design. The table we own. The table we share.
We are seen and heard.
Together, we stand at the forefront of equality, equity, and justice.
For ourselves.
For our families.
For those who come after us.
For the enduring benefit of all. We step into the unknown.
We are trailblazers.
We are firsts.
We are standouts who find success and redefine it.
We are shaping and changing today and tomorrow.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are Prep for Prep.
There's so much more to experience along this virtual Lilac Ball journey. As you watch, you'll see our impact in the numbers. You'll hear students and alumni speak from the heart about what prep means to them. You'll be reminded of the power of our programs and why investing in being part of Prep for Prep is vital for the health of our nation and our global economy. So let's hop on the A train to see a music video filmed in Far Rockaway. Meet at a cafe on 14th Street to talk about tech. See a new community development in Flushing, or venture to 42nd and 5th to hear about the latest startup. Our alumni are everywhere, leading their lives and making a difference. We only have time for just a few profiles, a brief glimpse into our vast alumni network. For those of you who've attended the Lilac Ball in person, we've been moved by 3 students who are at different points along their journey. This year, through student nominations, we're going to hear from 5 students. You'll also hear words of congratulations, reflections, and appeals from prep leaders, including our partners at JPMorgan Chase, our board, and alumni. So let's get going.
I make my music intentionally for joy, to bring joy, to spread joy. For me, it's really writing something simple that anybody can connect to. I grew up in East New York, Brooklyn. Before prep, I was a very high achieving student. So I hit them books. Me and them books were best friends. I loved school. My first day at Brearley was a very confusing day because I had never been to the Upper East Side before. I had to deal with the culture shock. It's a totally different way of thinking about life. And then who was going to translate that for me? You know, you can't just throw a kid in school and then hope it works. Prep cares about the whole life of a student. And that to me is one of the most important, powerful things prep has, is like the student has someone to talk to who gets it. Parents don't get it. Your school doesn't get it. Your friends from home don't get it. Prep gets it.
I got the power. The power is in my hands.
Most kids have no idea that arts is a possible future, that arts and career in the arts is a whole industry. Prep inspired me to move in my own path, to take all of the things that it taught us, excellence, courage, commitment, integrity, and then bring that into whatever I'm doing. I think that because of prep, I've been able to follow my dreams and actually see them turn into reality.
I only wish that you could take a stand.
Hi! Hi everyone, my name is Edward and this is my wife Lizelle. We are the parents of Alexa Lauren from Prep Contingent 43 and our son Hennessy is also a Prep student from Contingent 42.
We are so excited to be part of this community and so proud of our children for challenging themselves. And we all experience them working endlessly every day to achieve their goals. And this is not the end. You may consider it the beginning. And thank you so much, Prep, to all the teachers and advisors for guiding them and supporting them in their educations and personal growth.
Later, you hear from Alexa about her Prep for Prep experiences in 6th grade. And we are looking forward to the future when our children will be in your places today, ready to graduate high school, attend college, and achieve their dreams.
Congratulations!
My name is Alexa Lauren. I'm in Prep for Prep Contingent 43. I'm 11 years old, and I live in Elmhurst, Queens, and I currently attend PS58 School of Heroes. I consider myself to be a very diligent and determined person, but doing Prep for Prep online during this COVID-19 pandemic sure was overwhelming at first. But during this time at Prep, I sparked new interests, learned so many new things, and despite having to quarantine, we always made things possible online. My favorite prep classes are history, Latin, and science because we get to do group work more often. Outside of class, I love to just take a break, put on some headphones, sing, dance, and express myself in any possible way. I have to admit, Prep for Prep is the longest obstacle course I have gone through. Along with the significant workload, time management is an essential part of Prep for Prep. In the beginning, I really struggled with procrastination. I think the most difficult aspect about prep is commitment and the workload, which would be the main reason people would really start to think if it's worth it or if they should quit. I did in fact think of quitting a bit during the school year because I was just too tired of doing all the work and I would cry. But my parents always calmed me down, reminded me of my worth, and I just took a deep breath and continued. I constantly reminded myself that any unprepareds were my fault for procrastinating, and I need to fix it ASAP. Prep for Prep will uncover the grittiest students and help them visualize the future and the opportunities they'll get. It's worth it to stay up those sleepless nights, do each and every one of their homeworks, and still be present in class. The solution to my struggle was finding the motivation to help me get started. My parents have also been motivating me. What motivates me is the thought that they trust me to do my best, are supporting me every step of the way, and I know they want me to succeed and give it my all. It is that thought that keeps me going, to work for the opportunities my parents weren't given. I eventually got accustomed to balancing schoolwork and Prep for Prep homework the longer and longer I was in the program. It helped prepare me with what I was going to learn in my public school and had prepared me for my new school too. I am proud to share I got accepted into the Nightingale Bamford School. They accentuate the idea of girl power and how we all should be noticed and celebrated. This summer, I am excited to go in person for Prep. Although it may be harder with all the transportation, I have been hankering to see all my prep friends in person. I am excited and looking forward to ending prep with a strong finish. To the high school graduates, if I was in your place right now, I'd say, thank you, younger self, for not giving up on this. You were the reason I ended up here. And I know that when I get a career, I'll say, thanks for not giving up. You brought me here once again. Now, congratulations to all who are graduating tonight. I know you all will go far in life. Thank you, Prep, for the lifetime opportunities.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Cashin. I first joined the Prep Board 23 years ago, became president 10 years ago, and am now completing my first year as board chair. The reason I'm so committed to Prep is in part due to my being an ardent, lifelong New Yorker. Especially today, we should recognize and celebrate our differences. We need to put ourselves in the shoes of others and work together to understand and solve complex, interrelated issues. Prep gives all of us a step in the right direction. Congratulations, class of 2020 and class of 2021. Over the years, I've met so many incredible young people like you who go on to be committed citizens. Dozens have shared their inspiring stories on our Lilac Ball stage. Others have impressed me detailing their summer experiences at our Institute for Entrepreneurship, sponsored by Google, our public policy internship projects, Sotheby's Art Academy, and at leading firms like this year's corporate honoree, JPMorgan Chase. We have so many prep champions at the bank, some of whom you will meet shortly. What they're too modest to tell you is that in addition to being internship leaders, members across the firm joined forces to think inventively about creating 52 virtual internship experiences, even as many opportunities became impossible last summer. This summer, the count is now up to a record of 60. Furthermore, upon hearing that a beloved past intern had lost his father to COVID-19, and knowing of the disproportionate challenges that our students and families were facing, JPM colleagues pulled together $40,000 for PrEP's emergency fund. Whether to help with rent, food, phone bills, or transportation home from boarding school or college, our JPM colleagues once again stepped up to help. It's why we honor them, our students, and their families at this year's Lilac Ball. Thank you, JPMorgan Chase. Now we will hear from a few JPMorgan Chase leaders and PrEP alums.
Hi, my name is Robin Leopold, and I'm head of the Human Resources team at JPMorgan Chase. We are flattered to be named as honorees this year alongside the amazing classes of 2020 and 2021. Since our partnership began in 2005, we've had over 500 PrEP student interns with our company.
We believe it's important to provide opportunity for students to have internships and experience in the workforce. We know that makes a difference and sets them up for long-term success.
It means that we have visible role models throughout our organization, so people can see people like themselves achieving great things here at JPMorgan Chase.
By providing internship and learning experiences to promising students of color, we are strengthening the communities in which we work while opening pathways to bring ethical and effective leaders to our company.
It is about closing that gap and addressing the real challenges of building wealth and creating better economic opportunity for Black and Brown people in this country.
I've been at JPM for 13 years of the 15-year PrEP JPM relationship. And it's been great to see the relationship continue to grow and develop over time, and to see each progressive intern class get bigger and bigger.
My career began at JPMorgan Chase, and the skills I learned have helped me tremendously in life.
PrEP has allowed me to develop amazing relationships that have carried me through weddings, the birth of my children, job changes, and really grown with me as I've developed my career and moved through my life.
When I came to JPMorgan Chase the first summer after my junior year of high school, I saw firsthand how prevalent the PrEP community was here.
What I love most about PrEP is that it's not one and done. Once you're in PrEP for life.
The JPMorgan Chase partnership with PrEP for PrEP means to me commitment to the future.
PrEP is here to produce leaders, but at the same time, produce ethical leaders. Leaders who will be compassionate, respectful. Leaders who will go into situations and make sure that there is a level of comfort that everyone feels.
So I've seen myself continue to grow and develop here over those years, and I've been fostered in doing that by both the PrEP community as well as the JPM community.
Because we share similar values, a commitment to excellence, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so when PrEP students come here, or when they accept full-time offers, they come into a culture that's similar to one that they have grown up in.
And I know that JPMorgan Chase is stronger because of the partnership they formed with PrEP for PrEP.
Congratulations to PrEP for PrEP graduates of 2020 and 2021.
Congratulations, you made it.
To the graduates of 2020 and 2021, our leaders of the future, enjoy the moment, congratulations, and from everyone at JPMorgan Chase, good luck.
Congratulations to the PrEP graduating classes of 2020 and 2021.
Congratulations, you did it.
We are so proud of you.
You did it.
Hi everyone, I'm Mehrab, a member of Prep for Prep's Contingent 37 and Dalton's class of 2020. I grew up in Astoria, Queens, and I just finished my freshman year at MIT, where I'm majoring in mathematics with computer science. There are many times I wondered why I ever put myself through the preparatory component. For most of the nights during the 14 months, I wanted to quit. I'd always wanted to go to Stuyvesant, so I didn't know why I should stay up late studying to get into a private school. There were three main things that kept me going at that time. My advisor, Khalif, telling me what his time at PolyPrep did for him, my mother asking me to stick it out one more day, and my own desire to see how well I could do in my classes. During my time at Dalton, I often had similar doubts about why I was there. My home life and school life felt like different planets, and the vast expanse between them felt insurmountable. Conversations with prep friends helped me realize, though, that while we have very different experiences from our classmates, prep students can help make these private institutions better places. One initiative like that I was glad to play a role in was our push to get Dalton and other schools in the New York Interschool Consortium to recognize the two major Muslim holidays, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, as official no-school holidays. The New York City public school system did so starting in the 2016 to 2017 school year, but I started at Dalton that year, so I still had to miss school to observe those holidays. I didn't push for change until I heard a day 4 talk at a prep aspects of leadership retreat. Munia from Contingent 36 spoke about how she and a classmate had been working for 2 years to make that happen at the Nightingale Bamford School through multiple meetings with the head of school, administration, and board of trustees, and I was inspired to do my part. In senior year, I joined her project. I spoke with a friend on Dalton's student government, wrote a proposal, and spoke with the dean of students about the issue. To my delight, it was successful, and starting in the 2020 to 2021 school year, Dalton recognized both Eids along with Lunar New Year and Diwali as official school holidays. As it turns out, I didn't get to enjoy those days off either since I was already in college, but that's all right. What's important was that prep students work together to make their institutions more inclusive of all cultures and religions, and show future students that such change is possible. Going to Dalton also gave me the opportunity to work toward my lifelong passion of making education more accessible to others. When I was in 4th grade, my father introduced me to Khan Academy, and watching his videos made me passionate about mathematics. Sal Khan looks like me, and he inspired me to want to go to MIT and make education more accessible to people with less resources. At Dalton, I was a STEAM instructor at the Dalton First program, and helped 3rd graders think about math and computer science in a new way. The Dalton School gave me the chance to take a leadership role in those positions, and use my knowledge to provide a service to others. I want to continue to learn as much as I can at MIT about math and computer science so that I can empower others' educations in the future. I want to thank you, my prep family, for helping me do that until now, and I hope that you'll keep encouraging me from here on out.
My name is Eileen, but many of you may know me as Allie. I grew up in Guayaquil, Ecuador, and the Bronx, New York, and I'm a member of Prep for Prep Contingent 36. I graduated last year from Riverdale Country School, and I'm now a rising sophomore at Hamilton College, majoring in economics with a double minor in philosophy and art. At Hamilton, I'm a peer mentor, orientation leader, on the executive board of a survivor advocacy group, and a HEOP student. Thanks to the help of Prep, I've spent summers broadening my interests from art to marketing, and this summer I will be interning in corporate finance at JPMorgan Chase. Apart from providing incredible career opportunities, Prep has also blessed us with a space where I was able to connect with people that I now consider family. What's so special to me about Prep is that it's an ongoing support system, not just in the sense that there are counselors and professionals to guide us through our academic and personal journeys, but in that with every event and reunion, I've felt grounded. With Prep, I feel like I'm home, and any traces of imposter syndrome that once lingered are left undetectable. Looking back on my senior year of high school, I found that independent schools are not always best equipped to serve the needs of minority students. In my experience, this was most apparent during the college process. Having been placed with a counselor that often dealt with legacy students, both my confidence and perception of the college process were distorted. Without Prep, I would have not had someone like Karen Alonso, my Prep college counselor, to most properly guide me and help me find what I feel like is my perfect fit at Hamilton College. I went from struggling to participate in student life during high school to taking on numerous leadership positions in just my first year of college, which I see as a testament to the sense of belonging I have there that further motivates me to engage with the community. Karen, Thank you for validating me and making me feel seen during one of the more difficult processes in my college career thus far. As a result of my commitment to growth and the numerous support systems that I've had in place, I'm now in an environment where I can confidently explore and expand my interests. To my fellow rising college sophomores and incoming first years, although I've only completed 1 year of college, I've learned a thing or two that I would like to share. We will still have opportunities to party, COVID guidelines permitting, of course. We will meet new people, stress over our course load, which as prep kids is nothing new, and everything else we've seen in the movies. But the reality is, college and this pursuit of a higher education is so much bigger than that. College is a place where you're given the space and liberty to define yourself, find autonomy, and grow. I encourage you all to take this opportunity to heal, connect with others, connect with yourself, and learn. We all deserve this and owe it to ourselves to take full advantage of and enjoy our college experiences. If not, you wouldn't be standing or sitting here, I guess, listening to this speech. I look forward to whatever the future may hold for us, knowing that we all have the capability to carve our own paths, and am beyond grateful to be a part of this journey with you all. Thank you.
I was born in Hong Kong, but I immigrated to Manhattan's Chinatown when I was just 5 years old. And I grew up in public housing and the tenements. So I had a lot of firsthand experience what it was like to live in very dilapidated 100-year-old housing. And when I pursued a career later on, that's something that kept coming back to me, that one of the core foundations of the success of a family, a household, an individual is really safe and secure housing as a foundation before all else. What PrEP inculcates in every alum is this importance of civic engagement and really participation in democracy and giving back. It wasn't just enough that you as an individual succeed. There was a responsibility that PrEP embeds in us that we have to go back and do something to uplift the communities that we came from. Asian Americans for Equality, we're a 50-year-old nonprofit that does a lot of community development. One Flushing is our newest and largest affordable housing development project to date. We brought our mission values into the building. We wanted to create a diverse neighborhood, an intergenerational neighborhood, so that it resembles a microcosm of the community. Without PrEP, I would not have the drive and ambition, as well as the commitment to hard work. It sets a thought, an inkling of hope that there is something better out there. There is a value to this kind of civic engagement in our democracy, and that's what we're trying to do here day in and day out.
In this city that never sleeps, Prep for Prep is always on it, always prepared, always going above and beyond. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we're calling this singular year, a time like no other in which we've faced multiple pandemics. Yet the fortitude and strength of our students continue to inspire us. Our staff and families are compass points, always helping our students find their way. And our alumni. You exemplify leadership in all you do, giving back with an encouraging word, meaningful guidance, with your talent, with your philanthropic support. And to all of our supporters, thank you. At PrEP, there is always more we can do, and your support is making a huge difference, a profound impact. And together we accomplished far more than we ever thought possible. Here's a look back at how PrEP pivoted in a year like no other.
Breaking right now, the coronavirus pandemic continuing to spread throughout our area.
The epicenter in the U.S. is now clearly New York.
School is closed. Do not go to school tomorrow.
Scores of colleges and universities also canceling classes.
And learning is remote only for hundreds of thousands of city students.
This year, the mission really did come to life, and we know how resilient our students can be, our staff can be, our families can be, and it was proven in this singular year.
Our biggest challenges ranged from access to technology to being trapped in a multi-generational home where there's concern about contracting COVID-19 to even having a quiet space to do their work.
I really looked to Prep for guidance because I thought that if anybody was going to handle it, it was going to be them.
We had a very strong technology team who was very savvy about educational platforms, and literally within a couple of days, we were able to provide the needed technology for staff and for families and students.
So, like, technically, all phenotypes would be genotypes?
Correct. The attitude was adjust. There was never a question around whether or not Prep for Prep would continue to do the great work it's here to do. It just looks a little different.
Mentor sessions are looking at Thursdays at noon, and then speakers on Friday at 11.
This was an opportunity to model leadership, and our alumni showing up and participating and offering opportunities for our students.
Prep offered an opportunity with the School of the New York Times online via Zoom with students throughout the country from Washington, D.C., California, even students in Turkey. I learned so much. I met some incredible people, and it was all fostered by Prep.
Alumni through this year has been tremendous. They just really stepped up in ways that I really hadn't seen before.
Okay, welcome everybody to the Alumni Speaker Series, Day 2.
Some of our youngest students just rose up and really started to live the Prep motto. These 11 and 12-year-olds built this peer support network called Pillar Pals, where they're studying together and offering each other encouragement in ways that we didn't tell them to do, but it's very, very Prep for Prep.
I'm so glad that you decided to join me today.
I created Pillar Pals to help children in Prep for Prep, just like me, who were struggling because they were really stressed out.
For us, Pillar Pals was awesome.
We really had a community for us, even though we were remote.
This generation will be the most resilient, probably, that we've ever seen. These Prep students are probably going to be the most outstanding Prep alumni we've ever seen, and that's a high bar.
I think it's monumental what we achieved to transition during a pandemic, something that we've never done before, something that no one's ever done before. But, you know, we're problem solvers at Prep.
There's something about facing a challenge that reveals who we are as people and a community, and no one in the community was willing to quit.
Prep for Prep is newly focused on building your own path as a trajectory to success. There will be a constant evolution of Prep for Prep, yet it'll always be recognizable for our alumni and for our families and for our staff and for our students, because the mission is what grounds us in our work.
Congratulations.
I'm Chris James, Contingent 9.
I'm Johannes Cleary, Prep 9, Contingent 5, and we're co-presidents of Prep for Prep's Board of Trustees.
To our 2020 and 2021 high school graduates, we congratulate you. I still remember my graduation day. I was nervous, but filled with such a sense of pride and accomplishment with my fellow classmates. We did it together, and that togetherness has stayed with me all these years later.
I can't believe it's been 25 years since the Lilac Ball for my contingent. But I remember it well, getting all dressed up and celebrating with my prep friends and family. In some ways, the Lilac Ball was even more meaningful than my high school graduation, celebrating with people who truly understood the distance I had traveled to walk across that stage and everything it meant. Everyone was so proud of what we had accomplished and excited for what lay ahead for us in college and beyond, just like we are excited for you today.
Students, we are so proud of you and all you've accomplished, especially in a year as difficult and unimaginable as this one. You are like none other, showing incredible resilience and perseverance, a level of determination that only highlights the unlimited potential each of you has. We know that, like us, you appreciate all the impressive prep alums who've crossed the Lilac Ball stage before. Also know that for every step you take in life, prep alums are standing behind you and beside you. You'll often hear prep alums say, "Prep for life," and we mean it.
So as you step onto our virtual stage as celebrated graduates, you're stepping not only into a world of new challenges and opportunities, but also into a talented and dynamic community of prep alums who are nearly 4,000 strong and growing.
Recently, we gathered over Zoom with fellow alums and trustees and friends, Natalie Hutchinson, Contingent 14, and Sue Meng, Contingent 15, to reflect on the prep experience, prep's impact, and prep's future. Here are some highlights from that conversation.
Sue, great to see you. Hi, Natalie.
Hey guys, so great to see you.
Hey everyone, great to see you.
I think one of the biggest memories about prep that I remember is just it being like a safe space to be a nerd, right? To be a nerd of color.
I was an A student in my day school, in middle school, but when I got to prep, I got C's and D's for the first time.
I think just visually, the memory that sticks out the most is how heavy our backpacks were.
I think it's those kind of fundamental, personal skills, kind of personal attributes, the grit, the grind that have stuck through with me more than, frankly, the curricula that I was supposed to learn.
I think it really drives home how special the prep experience is, because it's taking kids at an incredibly young age and really changing the course of their lives forever.
I feel like my most powerful network are my prep friends.
Having that community to do that together with is critically important, especially as an 11-year-old. And those are relationships that last your whole life. You're part of this community, the part of that prep community forever. I mean, we can see that on this call right now.
I think for me, and I know this is true for a lot of prep students, Prep for Prep was probably the most significant intervention in my life in terms of putting me on the trajectory that I'm on. In some ways, prep wasn't insisting that we become leaders, but it was giving us tools that it's almost inevitable that we would become leaders in some capacity, in some context.
I mean, this world is desperate for leaders, desperate. And foundational to creating leaders is education and groups of education. You need diverse leaders to kind of solve problems across diverse communities that are big, complicated problems.
I think we all understand that, like, to whom much is given, much is required. We've received so much from prep that we have to give back into the world.
Let me question the things I'm being told, because maybe things don't have to be that way. If we don't like the status quo, let's not keep doing it. Let's actually change it.
I don't think there's ever been a more important organization for the future than prep, candidly, given the problems the world is facing.
Part of the legacy that prep has, right, is that it's not just that we become successful and then that's it, right? We become successful and then we kind of branch out.
In order to have the pipeline of leaders you need in some of the most important institutions in our country, you need to start investing them in them when they're 11. It doesn't happen overnight.
Prep is always here. The prep alumni, you're part of a great community of people that if you need help or need anything, that there's always somebody out there that is willing to give a hand and to help out.
We're so excited to see what the future has in store for you, and we'll be rooting for you every step along the way.
It's Prep for Life.
Connecting with Prep alums is always so inspiring. CJ, can you believe we've gone from being nerdy kids with our backpacks, taking the subway back and forth to prep classes in the summer and on weekends, to now being parents with our own kids in some of these same schools or well on their way?
Not really. I'm thinking I gotta get my kids into prep first.
Good luck. To all the prep families watching, thank you for trusting us with your most precious treasure, your children, and for believing in us to help them develop and reach their full potential.
And because your kids probably don't tell you enough, the two of us and the entire prep community, thank you. We honor and celebrate you too. Your confidence, your support, and your trust make all of this happen.
In addition to our prep families, we're grateful to all of prep's generous supporters, especially during such a difficult year. Corporations like JPMorgan Chase, foundations like Bloomberg Philanthropies, and many individual donors, especially our fellow alum.
Everyone's commitment is needed and must continue, given the importance of prep. It's in the time and effort our staff, our board, the alumni, and our prep partners spend executing on the mission. It also comes in the form of financial support. Every year we raise money to fund the prep budget and ensure we deliver on that shared mission. Prep needs to raise $10 million to meet this year's budget, and a big part of this funding comes from the Lilac Ball sponsorships and gifts and pledges from those attending. Please join us in making a gift at whatever amount is meaningful for you. You can do that via the on-screen instructions, or you can always go to our website, prepforprep.org. You can do that any time of the year to make that contribution. Thank you.
Up next, you'll hear from prep alum Roland Prasad, Leadership Academy Contingent 2. He works at Bloomberg Philanthropies, and he'll talk about his commitment to prep. He'll also introduce a message from former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg, a past prep trustee and longtime champion of prep. Mike Bloomberg recently wrote a moving letter to the U.S. Senate endorsing the nomination of our celebrated prep alum, Kristen Clark, Prep 9 Contingent 2, Choate Class of 93, go Choate, to head the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. Kristen has had an amazing career, and we're all very excited about what the future holds for her.
Before turning it over to Roland, I want to thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
In person.
In person.
Good evening, I'm Roland Prasad, Leadership Academy Contingent 2. It was through prep that I landed my dream job at Bloomberg Philanthropies 6 years ago. I currently serve as Program Manager with the Government Innovation Team. I'm also chair of the fundraising committee of Prep for Prep's Alumni Council, and serve as an alumni trustee on the prep board. Philanthropy means the love of people. I know firsthand the power of philanthropy to change lives, and I've committed my career to public service now and in the future. It is a privilege to be in a position to give back. Working at Bloomberg Philanthropies, I tackle issues of equity and help solve pressing problems around the world. No one else is doing what we're doing on the scale that we're doing it. Leaders inspire and motivate. They roll up their sleeves and work hard to create positive impact and take responsibility for the outcome, whatever the results. Mike Bloomberg is an amazing leader, and at Bloomberg Philanthropies, we're achieving great outcomes. Mike's commitment to Prep for Prep goes back 30 years when he joined the prep board in 1991 and served until his run for mayor 10 years later. And he still is committed as ever to Prep for Prep. I'm thrilled that Mike wants to say a few words as we gather at this virtual Lilac Ball to celebrate leadership. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. To all the outstanding students in Prep for Prep's classes of 2020 and 2021, congratulations. It has been an extremely challenging time, but you've persevered and shown the world how tough you are. You've prepared for whatever the future holds, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can achieve. Let me also thank everyone watching for supporting this terrific organization and everyone on the staff and the board for their great work. I was glad to serve on the board for many years and to see firsthand how Prep for Prep helps bright young people grow and achieve their potential. And that's a reason why so many students and alumni have been part of our teams at Bloomberg and Bloomberg Philanthropies as interns and employees. In every field, Prep for Prep alumni are doing important work and building a brighter future for everyone. I know all the students we're celebrating tonight will make their mark too. So congratulations again, and all the best.
So I grew up in Elmhurst, Queens, raised by a single mom who raised my brother, who's also a prep alum. And she raised us up to understand that education was truly the key to success. Prep changed my life. It allowed me to reach my full potential. It doubles down on education, and it doubles down on the fact that you can use this as a way out of your current circumstances. I don't think that I would have been able to reach Harvard without prep. I currently am the head of venture growth and partnerships at Republic. We essentially are democratizing access to both investing and fundraising in the venture community. Only 10% of venture capitalists are women, and about 4% are Latino and 4% are Black. In order to change that, we need to have underrepresented folks being funded and underrepresented investors to give that funding to underrepresented folks, because we are able to see opportunities that the traditional venture capitalists cannot. Basically, we are funding what we want the future to look like. I would not be where I am today without prep. Full stop. It all starts with my prep education. It's that foundation that I can do whatever it is that I set my mind to make the world a better place, because I have the confidence that I can do that.
I'm Nay, a member of Prep 9 Contingent 30 and a senior at the Lawrenceville School, a boarding school in New Jersey. I was born and raised in the Bronx in a Senegalese Muslim household with my father, mother, and younger sister. Without a doubt, prep is one of the best things to have ever happened to me. It was my experience in Prep 9 as a middle schooler that pushed me to challenge myself, not only academically, but also to embody excellence, integrity, commitment, and courage in all I do. All of my prep peers are passionate, driven, and genuinely amazing people, some of whom have become lifelong friends. I still remember walking across the aisle at the brick church and officially commencing. I felt like I could conquer the world. Fast forward to my freshman year at Lawrenceville, where a new reality had set in, and the truth was, I struggled. In particular, I found my English class very difficult. The grammar and analysis skills required of me appeared unreachable, even with the foundation prep had given me. Even harder than class was adapting to a new world, one that was predominantly white and wealthy, and that looked like the complete opposite of home. This is where courage came in. The concept of reaching out for help had become more familiar during prep, so recalling how my classroom experience improved from first to second summer spurred me to attend my school's academic consultations. I also took the step to lean on teachers, family, and friends, who reassured me that my experience would improve as I gained the tools to navigate my environment. I had arrived at my school already with a deep love for tennis, and I ended up playing on Lawrenceville's JV team all 4 years, which became an important outlet that I relied on to de-stress, as well as make connections with peers and coaches. As an honors US history student and Healy scholar, I combined my interest in public policy, activism, and writing to research often overlooked Black female educators in the post-Civil War era, who expanded access to education after slavery was abolished. I learned to push myself out of my comfort zone with new experiences, such as kayaking and traveling to China. Time has flown by. I have graduated from high school, and I am now a rising college freshman. I know that nearly every prep student here today can relate to these experiences. I am so incredibly proud of us all for persevering through the tough moments, not merely to survive, but to thrive. Wherever is next in your future, keep prep's values close to your heart and keep on flying. Congratulations to the classes of 2020 and 2021.
Hello all, my name is Justin. I'm from Prep 9 Contingent 30, and today I would like to share a part of my journey with you. In the silent corridors of the Horsta and Taft common room, I sunk into the gray sofa, ready for another late night talk with Andrew, my ex-roommate who I slowly transitioned to the brother I never had. This night in particular, Andrew asked me, "Why do you care so much about what others think of you?" Usually I'm a quick-witted guy with fast responses, but Andrew's question had me perplexed. Why do I care so much about what others think of me? This, unfortunately, wasn't the first time I asked myself this question. When I look back on my life, I realized I spent so much time living in the preconceived notions others had for me. I'd like to give you a specific example. Dance. For me, dance is as natural as the blood in my veins. I've been told on multiple occasions that I was probably born dancing out of the womb. However, there was a time when I refused to dance at all because of my peers. At my first ballet class when I was 14 years old, I could hear people commenting on how feminine I looked and how unmanly it was to dance ballet. What seemed like a minor incident was only the beginning of what felt like endless assaults of insults. I avoided going on the same bus as my peers or sped up in the hallways when I saw them to avoid the barrage of name calling. And while this provided a solution for the conflict with others, it didn't provide an answer for the internal war I was facing. Day after day, I felt as if I was living in a body other than my own. And then I finally asked myself, was it worth it? Running away from something I loved doing, from being my true self, to satisfy others? Thankfully, my transition to boarding school helped me to become one with myself. There, I finally gave into my passion, and for the first time in a while, I regained a sense of control over my life. Now, why is finding myself so important to my journey? Why should it be important to your journey? I believe it's the foundation of success. Success has no universal definition. It's what you make of it. I believe being successful is an ongoing effort to define your identity and find what you truly love. And in order to do that, you must learn to follow your heart. But remember to take your brain with you. It's time for us to ask the question, who are we and what do we truly want in life? Some of you know what you already love to do. And for those of you who don't know, it may take 4 minutes or 4 months or 4 years. But keep searching, keep exploring, and find what gets you up in the morning and keeps you coming back for more. Once you've found that passion, that drive, that fire in your soul, never let anyone, even yourself, extinguish that flame. I urge you to become one with yourself. Once you win the battle against yourself, you'll find that all the other battles in life become easier to overcome. While I preach to you the art of self-reliance, I don't want you to think that you don't need anyone in life. Whether they're good or bad, the people we meet, we surround ourselves with, help us to form our own identities. So I'd like to give a special thank you to Mr. Mayo and Mr. Cervantes for pushing me out of my comfort zone and encouraging me to apply to Prep 9. When everything was new and overwhelming at boarding school, my TAFT advisors, Ms. Garcia and Mr. Bernier, looked out for me and were my parents away from home. When I was out of touch with myself and needed a shoulder to lean on, I found my brother, Andrew. Thank you. And to all my prep friends, Herman, Lauren, Kayla, Kimmy, Raina, Tiana, thank you. And a special, special, special thank you to Cynthia. Without her, I probably even wouldn't be giving this speech right now. And I'd also like to give another special thank you to my Prep 9 teacher, Conrad Fernandez, for being the light in my darkest hour. Even when I struggled and didn't think I could do better, he was there to tell me anything was possible as long as I believed in myself. And finally, a big special thank you to my mom. There are no words to express my eternal gratitude. You are my everything. And I'm glad you will continue to be a part of my life as I continue ballet and dance at Cornell in the fall. Thank you.
I can still remember when I got accepted into Prep for Prep, the look on my mother's face, the joy, humble background, humble environment that we lived in. So a lot of challenge, but that joy, that excitement for what could be for me, I saw that in her face, and that's like the first memory of Prep for Prep for me. If I think about my core values, my faith, my family, my health, and service. And service is a core value primarily because of Prep for Prep. So much has been invested in me from this program that benefited my career that I now need to take what I have and give that back to the Prep alumni, to the Prep students. Where is the wealth coming from today? It's coming from tech, it's coming from computer science, it's coming from entrepreneurship. If you see a plethora of tech talent and it looks nothing like you or not from your backgrounds, then it's hard for you to aspire to be that. So the more Prep alumni that I could bring into Google, the more Google values Prep's mission and seeing them as a source of talent, and then Google continues to invest in Prep for Prep. You may not have had Prep for Prep, and you may have gotten somewhere. But with Prep, you know those opportunities are going to accelerate wherever you're going to go. I look at students and folks coming after me, and I just want to tell them, there is no ceiling. Be bold, know what you love, and go after that. And if you think you can do this, you can do so much more.
Thanks for joining us. Some of you have been with us from the very beginning, when Prep first launched in 1978. Others have joined us in 2021 for the very first time. Either way, I hope you gained new perspectives looking at a world of possibility through the Prep for Prep lens. Today, as always, we look forward with optimism because each and every one of you has given Prep your all. To the class of 2020 and the class of 2021, congratulations. You did it. You inspire us, and we will always be here for you. And I'll see you, Prep students, at our after party. Prep alumni DJs Angel and Dren will have us dancing in the streets. And if you thought you knew Amanda and Leslie from Prep's undergraduate affairs team, hold on, because they're your dance party MCs. Check your emails for the Zoom link to our live party. Thank you to all our families. You have given us the most amazing young people to make us Prep proud. To our alumni, you show us every day what Prep for Life really means. You personify our core values. You shine brightly to show our students the path ahead. To all our partners, supporters, and friends, and especially for this celebration, JPMorgan Chase, for your outstanding leadership, we are deeply grateful. It really does take a village. In strength and solidarity, we stand together at the forefront of racial equity and social justice. I am humbled by you all. And please be left with this. Our mission is more important than ever. We're a local organization with national impact. We find success and redefine it. We are Prep for Prep. Thank you.
I've shown just to get in the door. They say my people have no history, but how that's possible is a mystery. 'Cause far as the eye can see, we always get more. I so why should she fear a living man? I said, you got the whole world in your hands, so why should you fear a living man? I said, I got the whole world in my hands, so why should I fear a living man?